Haribo, Haribo. Is it working or? I don't think it is. Is it working? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. It's working? Can you make it slightly louder? Or Haribo, Hare Krishna. It's working, yeah? Okay, thank you. So welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class, but we'll start off with the prayer first. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Please repeat. Jaya Radha ki, Shri Sitaram Lakshmanan Maan ki, Shri Gauranatai ki, Shri Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So thank you so much for coming to the Bhagavad Gita class today. Today we'll be discussing chapter 17, verse 25 of the Bhagavad Gita. But before I start, I'd wanted to offer prayers to the previous acharyas, my guru, and all the Vaishnavas present here in person and online, that I may say something useful. So, Om Jnanatirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Vaichana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakapatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So please repeat after me. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So again, we're reading from chapter 17, verse 25 of the Bhagavad Gita. And so I'll read the Sanskrit translation line by line, and if anyone wants to repeat, feel free, or it'll be nice if you could repeat it as well. So I see you've got your laptop open. But open up Weatherbase. Yeah. So Taditi Anibishandya. Please repeat, just line by line. Or everybody together. Yeah. Taditi Anabishandya. Phalam yagnatapakyaha Danakiyascha vividha Kriyante mokshakangshabhi. So I'll say it 3 times and then I'll let you repeat so you get an idea. So Taditi Anibisandhya Phalam yajnatapakyaha Danakiyascha vividha Kriyante mokshakangshabhi. Tat iti anibhisandhya Phalam yajnatapakyaha Danakiyascha vividha Kriyante mokshakangshabhi. Would you like to try and lead? Chapter 17, verse 25. Anyone else in the meantime? Would you like to try? Okay, no worries. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Really nicely pronounced as well. Thank you. So now for the word-for-word translation. And if you could repeat after me, so I'll say one word and just repeat after me. So it's the word-for-word translation of this verse. That, iti, thus, anabhisandhya, without desiring, phalam, the fruitive result, yagna, of sacrifice, tapa, and penance, kriyaha, activities, dana, of charity, kriyaha, activities, cha, also, vividha, various, kriyante, are done, moksha kankshabhi, by those who actually desire liberation. And now Prabhupada's translation and purport, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So translation goes, without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. And now the purport, to be elevated to the spiritual position, one should not act for any material gain. Acts should be performed for the ultimate gain of being transferred to the spiritual kingdom, back home, back to Godhead. So we see in verses in this chapter, in verses 1 to 6 of this chapter, it discusses faith in worship. So from verses 7 to 22, food, sacrifice, austerity, and charity are discussed in accordance to the modes of material nature. And because all these activities are one that we perform every day, it's very important to understand the influence of what mode we are performing these activities in. Because if we're aware of this, we're able to adjust the activities and elevate them to the mode of goodness, which is the most conducive to our spiritual life. So has everybody here heard of the modes of material nature? No? Anyone? So, so basically Krishna is explaining here, there's 3 modes of material nature. So there's the mode of knownness of goodness, passion, and ignorance. And beyond that is Shuddha Sattva, pure goodness. And this verse talks about pure goodness actually. In the previous verses in chapter 17, Krishna has described, so when we perform charity, we could, believe it or not, you think that charity is a good activity, right? Regardless of who you give it to. But believe it or not, it could be performed in the mode of ignorance as well, in the mode of goodness and in the mode of passion. Can anyone think of how it could be performed in the mode of ignorance? How can charity be performed in the mode of ignorance? What do you think? Krishna says. Okay, no worries if you don't know. I'll give you the answer. Okay, so charity in the mode of goodness is giving to an unworthy person. So say something that we're advised as devotees is don't give to anybody and everybody, like, because if you don't know what they're going to use it for, They may use it to buy alcohol, they may use it to gamble, they may use it to buy cigarettes. And and that's charity. If you don't, without an informed understanding of where that charity is going, it's in the charity in the mode of ignorance, right? Because the activity that the other person does, believe it or not, it affects our own karma. So for their negative activity, because we've given them the Lakshmi, the money to do that, it affects us. So that's charity in the mode of ignorance, Know who you're giving to festival. And then there's charity in the mode of passion. How can charity be in the mode of passion? So, charity in the mode of passion is like, you tell everybody, the reason why you're giving charity is to everybody to think, wow, how nice is this person, I'm giving so much to the Haveli. Look, my name with obviously they do this, but my name will go on the golden brick, and therefore everybody will think I'm such a wonderful person, And so you're doing, for show off, fame, glory, So charity in the mode of passion, you want something in return. That means, right? You want people to think you're good, yeah. And then you've got charity in the mode of goodness. What's charity in the mode of goodness? You try to be good to somebody without expecting anything in return, right? So the purpose of that charity is just you think it's out of duty, You want to help people because that's the right thing to do, but you don't care. You may make that charity anonymous so no one knows. So that's the charity in the mode of goodness. Now, what's pure Shuddha Sattva then? So what's pure goodness of charity then? Anybody? Anybody could try. Yeah, that, this is a very subtle difference in this goodness and pure goodness. So I'll give you an example. You may give food to lots of people to eat, and that's a very good act. But with the food, if you give them prasad, you're also helping them in a Krishna consciousness. So then giving prasad instead of normal food is going to help them progress in their spiritual life, and therefore it's pure goodness, right? It's just the mood in which you give, if your mood is, I'm doing it to please Krishna, then it becomes pure goodness, The purpose is service to Krishna, and this verse talks about this word Om Tat Sat, which actually means, Krishna it actually means the absolute truth. So all that we do, we should think that I want to do this to please Krishna, to serve Krishna, and not myself. So this is the mood in which we should perform charity. Similarly with penance, there's penance in the mode of ignorance, there's penance in the mode of passion, there's penance in the mode of goodness, and there's penance in the mode of pure goodness. So penance in the mode of ignorance is someone like, you see these political people who end up doing this fasting for so long, and they want everybody to accept their opinion, right? So that's charity in the mode of goodness. You're torturing yourself. This is Krishna's body. Your body is, Krishna's temple. You're torturing it, and you're doing it for yourself. You want people to recognize you. And that's charity in the mode of ignorance, and the penance in the mode of ignorance. Then you've got penance sacrifice or penance in the mode of passion. So what's the difference there? I'm doing this penance, but I want something out of it. Yeah? So often you see people, I'm fasting every Thursday, but why? Is it just to please Krishna, or is it because you want something out of it? Yeah, you want something out of it. Like you think, okay, if I do this, I'll accumulate lots of pious karma. And if I accumulate lots of pious karma, then I'll get, for me, it would be like a nice husband, Or if I... Huh? Yeah, brownie points, Krishna will give me a good job in return. He will give me everything, I'm doing good acts, I'll get the fruits of my activities. And therefore, that sort of penance in the mode of passion is mode of passion, because you want something, you're desiring something, but you're expecting something, again, in return. then penance, penance and sacrifice in the mode of goodness is, that it's, say for example, someone, that a person in the mode of goodness probably follows that you shouldn't drink, you shouldn't eat meat, you shouldn't gamble, and you shouldn't, have illicit sex, because they know that that's dharmic. So that's what's prescribed in the Vedic scriptures. Because it's prescribed in the Vedic scriptures, I should follow this. And therefore they're good, right? But beyond that is then penance. You'd say then beyond that is understanding that, for me, for example, one example of a penance is waking up very early to chant my rounds. So, Hare Krishna, thank you for joining. So penance is waking up really early, trying to wake up early to chant my rounds. And I struggle with this. But why am I waking up though? So I could finish my rounds. I could read a bit of the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam if I can, and do a bit of devotional service in the morning to set the right mood for the day. So that in itself is a penance or a sacrifice, because you're sacrificing your sleep, right? Then how else do you sacrifice as a devotee? The mood of which you fast. So you fast every 2 weeks for Ekadashi. But what's the real motive of Ekadashi? Does anyone know? Why do we do Ekadashi? Is it just that, what's the reason? What's the real reason? Okay. I'd say that's one part. It detoxes your body. Okay, and you know that, so you know that it detoxes your body because you're not having grains. But there's one thing beyond that. Does anyone know what's beyond that? Okay, the real reason why Ekadashi is observed is that if you don't spend time cooking so much, then we could think about Krishna more, because you save that time. That time that we spend in cooking, we could spend in praying to Krishna. Yeah? So the whole purpose of Ekadashi is not that we fast as such, it's that we could improve our meditation on Krishna. And that day is therefore auspicious. So just doing it just observing it every 2 weeks because you need to observe it is beneficial, It's in the mode of goodness. But knowing why you're doing it is in pure goodness. Because then you're using that day for its purpose, So next time, obviously nowadays, you find that in Ekadashi you make even more food. It's actually defeating the purpose, And we're guilty of it as well. I think but we're guilty of it. But the real reason for Ekadashi is to think of Krishna more, yeah? So, and why is it that I don't eat meat? Why is it that I don't eat egg? It's not only on a moral platform. Why is it that I don't eat or drink I don't have caffeine and onion and garlic? It's not just on a moral principle. The moral principle, the person in the mode of goodness will think it's the most compassionate thing to do. It's conducive to my spiritual life. It's healthy, But then the person in pure goodness thinks that by not having meat, by not drinking, by not having onion garlic, by not having caffeine, I could control my senses. And therefore, the reason why, that's why they say don't have this, so you could control your senses, and so you could perform your spiritual, you could concentrate on Krishna more. And because these things agitate your mind. Caffeine agitates your mind, it makes it race, it agitates your mind. And in that situation, you can't really meditate properly, right? And therefore, the reason behind following these activities is not only because of your health, but it's because it's going to help you in your service to Krishna. So this is the difference between goodness, passion, ignorance, and pure goodness. Yes, so I've established that, right? So now in this verse, Krishna says, without desiring fruitive results. So he's only talking about pure goodness over here. One should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. So the only way to get free from material entanglement is to do activities without the three modes of material nature. Because even if we perform activities in the mode of goodness, the law of karma states, if you do good, you'll have to come back to get that good in return. But is that, and at the most, we'll go to the heavenly planets, right? But is that actually what we really want? There's something beyond that, actually. Yeah, the heavenly planets is good. Being a good person is really important. That's the platform of being a devotee. But there's something beyond that. You could be. So the problem with going to the heavenly planets is you still experience birth, death, old age, and disease. Yeah. It's still the material world. It's not the spiritual world, right? So by performing acts in the mode of goodness, even still, you're still bound because you have to get the reward for your pious activities, and so therefore you have to take birth again. So how do you not take birth again? You try and transform your consciousness and put Krishna in the center. Try and put Krishna in the center of your activities, and therefore and if you put Krishna in the center of these sacrifice, penance, charity, and everything that you do, the food that you eat by offering it for prasad, and in every activity you do, if you do that, then you incur no karma. And if you incur no karma, then you're ready to go back to Krishna, back to the spiritual world. Yeah. So from verses 23 to 28 is a section which describes how we could please Krishna. So the goal of these activities performed in the modes of nature should be performed to please Krishna, and how here is described that by addressing or relating every activity to Vishnu or Krishna, this is how we could please Krishna. Yeah. But from verse 23, Krishna discusses three words: Om Tat Sat. And to be honest, I struggle to understand Om Tat Sat as well. So if you don't understand it today, don't worry. Yeah. So Om is said to indicate the Supreme, and Bhaktivedanta Bhusana explains that in speaking of penance, austerity, and charity in the mode of goodness, ignorance, and passion, he says that these activities performed in the mode of goodness should be accepted, and those in the mode of passion and ignorance should be rejected, because they are not conducive to our spiritual progress. And then Bhaktivedanta Bhusana arises that now the Lord says sacrifice, austerity, and charity by persons qualified with sattva in the mode of goodness should be performed along with the chanting of the names of Vishnu. And actually, Om Tat Sat is the name of Vishnu. Yeah? So I know that my spiritual master, before he starts any class, he begins with Om Tat Sat. And he even says that when you're at work, before you start any activity, and you must start practicing this, I'm guilty of not, you must say Om Tat Sat. So I'm doing this for you, Krishna. I'm doing it as a service for you. He says that he says that if these words Om Tat Sat is used along with sacrifice and other acts, these names will compensate for any fault in the performance of various parts of the sacrifice. And by uttering these three sounds, one is assured of getting the results. So actually the words Om Tat Sat mean Prabhupada says is the absolute truth Krishna. So there's three aspects of Krishna. There's the impersonal Brahma Jyoti of Krishna, which is the sound vibration. Om is referring to the sound vibration. So that's the impersonal sound representation of Krishna. So it's referring to Krishna, the Brahma Jyoti. Tat is referring to the Paramatma realization, and Sat is referring to understanding that Krishna is a person, and we should therefore accepting Krishna as a person as a whole, and then serving Krishna as a person. So Om Tat Sat in itself is the three energies of Krishna. Yeah, he's got three energies, and he represents. So actually, each and every particle here, every one of us has Paramatma and Krishna within us, And just knowing this, we could improve our interactions with each other. Because if you know that Krishna resides everywhere in the other person, wouldn't you be thoughtful of before you speak? You'd be sensitive to that other person's feelings. So just knowing that is supposed to help you act good, right? Because you don't want to hurt someone, because Krishna resides in them, Krishna resides everywhere. So actually, even Lord Brahma, he received the knowledge through the sound vibration. When he was creating, so Krishna so he was trying by his own efforts to try and create this world, and it wasn't working. Then he started meditating, and then he heard the sound vibration Om, and through Krishna's flute and through Krishna playing the flute, he understood how to create this world. Yeah. So Om is the first sound in this world. In this world. And so he performed the task of creation. So in this age of Kali Yuga, what form of austerity is recommended? Can anyone guess? Anyone? What is this temple called? Hare Krishna. What is it? The song? Yeah. So the form of austerity in this age of Kali is the process of self-realization is Sankirtan. So the chanting of the holy name, Kirtan, and Kirtan, yeah, and Harinam. Why? Because in other ages, in Satya Yuga, it used to be meditation on Vishnu. But who over here can meditate for so long without the mind jumping around everywhere, right? It's not possible. And, over there, then people lived 100,000 years, so they had a chance to maybe perfect this at some stage, and they were a lot more purer, And then in Treta Yuga, the mode of sacrifice was opulent yagnas, so fire sacrifices. But the span was also 10,000 years. But we can't do that. That's not practical, is it? You can't just sit there at home performing yagnas all day. Yeah? And in Dwapara Yuga, it was deity worship. And our life expectancy was 1,000 years. And even with this, sometimes this could be difficult because we live in this world where it's deity worship should be part of our sadhana. But in this world, we live in a world where it's very, very hectic. And so Krishna says, in this age of hypocrisy and quarrel, you could come back to me simply by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. He says, Hare Nam, Hare Nam, Hare Nam Kevalam, Kolo Naste Vinaste Vinaste Vagatir Anyata. In this age of Kali, there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way but the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra to go back to Godhead. Yeah? So this is what we should focus on. So alongside our activities, we should remember to always try and at least remember Krishna. And beyond that, if you can, it would be really nice to chant the Hare Krishna mantra too. So I'm going to give you, in the Shikshashtakam, unadulterated bhakti. So the Shikshashtakam is the 8 verses that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left for us. The only 8 verses he left for us, instructions. He describes what unadulterated bhakti is. He says, Nadhananna jananna sundara kavita va jagat ishakamiye mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatat bhakti rahit ki tvahi. And here, Lord Chaitanya says, I do not want my Lord, anything from you. Neither do I want any amount of wealth, nor beautiful woman for my sense gratification, nor do I want fame, prestige, followers. I do not even desire liberation. I only desire your causeless, unmotivated service, birth after birth. Okay, so this is what we should be aiming for. Yeah? And also in the Nectar of Devotion it says, pure devotional service is without aspiring and without desire for material profit. Unalterated, unmotivated. the reason why we're doing the service is not for fame. The reason, we don't want, I don't want after, it's not the reason why I'm doing kirtan. The reason why I'm speaking is not that I expect you guys to say, well done, you gave such a nice talk. That, I mean, it comes. If it comes, it comes. But if that's not the reason why I'm doing it, right? It's so pure devotion is anya bilasita sunyam gnana karma dhyanabritam anukulyana krishnanum shilanam bhaktir uttama. So when we perform it says one should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruit of activities or philosophical speculation. That is called pure devotional service. Yeah? And Krishna says this so many times, because this is what he's trying to get us to do, is to surrender to him. And if he could do this, then we could go back to him. So he repeats this so many times in the scriptures. So one more reference is, he says in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, verse 6, he says, it's a nice verse again. He says, Sarve pumsa paro dharma yato bhakti dokshaja ahitiki aparahita ye atma supasidati. And now he says that the supreme occupation for all of humanity, so for all of us, is that which by men can attain to the loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. Again, Krishna is repeating himself. It's to be unmotivated, uninterrupted, and that's pure devotional service. And so now, I've spoken a lot of philosophy. I'll give you a pastime of a devotee who perfected this unmotivated, uninterrupted devotional service. So, in the Chaitanya Leela. So once there was a devotee. He was a very simple devotee, but he got the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In fact, he got the highest benediction. No higher benediction is possible. You see, but everything that a person could desire was at his fingertips. But however, he simply wanted the essence. And this devotee is called Kolaveta Shridhar. This devotee. And so Kolaveta Shridhar was a very poor brahmana. He's poor. And his business was selling banana products. Yeah? Very simple business, selling banana products. So this was the business of Shridhar. He was a banana leaf to flower center salesman, you see. But everybody grew bananas in Navadvip, in every house. So it wasn't a very rare commodity. So there was a very low profit margin. So he used to have ripped clothes. In his house, he used to have holes in the roof, and he would by force be eating lots of banana products. But he was a pure devotee of Krishna. So whatever profit he would make, he would spend 50% on worshipping the Mother Ganga. Because the Ganga is touched by the lotus feet of Krishna, is therefore sacred, obviously, as we know. So Kolaveta Shridhar, he would make his banana cups, he would make banana leaves and everything, put it in a basket, and take the basket to the marketplace. And there he would sit and wait for his customers. Those of you who have seen the markets in India can imagine how this was like, right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the golden incarnation of Krishna, in his student days, he would go shopping for his mother Sachi. And those days, no one knew that he was Krishna. You see, because he was keeping it hidden, you see, only a rare souls, they knew he was Krishna, right? But Lord Chaitanya, he wouldn't look right. He wouldn't look left. He would go straight for Kolaveta Shridhar, because he was his devotee. He would say, how much? Do you have some bananas today? I have every day only these products. Here they are. Take your pick. And he asked, how much is this? Fixed price, no profit. And he would tell. But he was actually truthful. He would tell the exact market price. So Lord Chaitanya would say, oh, you're trying to make so much profit. No, I'm not. I'm not. This is a reasonable price. I know you're buying these banana products at very cheap prices, selling it for big profit. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to say to him. You see, you tell me how much you want for this. Tell me the real price. Then you would pick up the one bunch of bananas. Yes, I told you the correct price. Oh, you're hoarding so much money. And Lord Chaitanya would walk off with the bananas without paying. Kolaveta Shridhar would grab them back. He said, listen, if you don't like the price, you check the other market people. If they give you a better price, then you could take it. If I don't make any profit, how can I worship Mother Ganga? I have to. 50% of my income goes to worshipping the Ganga. Then Lord Chaitanya would say, you think I want to take it for free? I'm willing to pay the correct price. But don't you know who I am? I am the father of your Mother Ganga. Oh, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. What an offense, Shridhar. The father of Mother Ganga is Krishna. Then how can a living entity be so rare to call himself God? So then Lord Chaitanya, all right, you are going to give me some bananas or not give me the correct price. So then Shridhar, his heart was already melted. He didn't know what had happened. Every time he came in touch with this Brahmana boy, his heart was just melted. At least I am fortunate that this beautiful Brahmana is coming to me. Lord Chaitanya said, you took away the bananas from me. You know what this means? To take away from a Brahmana? All right, you take it for half price. Lord Chaitanya would pay the conchs, not even a penny. Give less than a penny and take all his products. All that he needed, he would take. So this was going on for a long time. And Kolaveta Shridhar, he would always be thinking of Lord Chaitanya. Who is this person? Why am I so attracted to him? And every day he would take whatever money he made, 50% he buys food and clothing, and the other 50% he would buy incense and different things and offer puja to the Ganges. So then, the whole night he would go on chanting Hare Krishna late into the night. And his neighbors, they became irritated. Why is he singing into the night? Then some others, you see, there were so many critical, demoniac type of people. Oh, he is so hungry, he can't sleep, and he is howling into the night. Then so one of them came the next day and said, listen, Kolaveta Shridhar, let me give you some good advice. We hate to see a good boy like you struggling in the world. I would like you to advise you to worship demigods and everything, but I know you won't accept that. Let me give you some good advice. You're spending 50% of your money for worshipping the Gangas, but your condition is very poor. Sholaveta Shridhar said, no, he said, I'm not poor. No, but your dhoti has got holes in it. No, my body is covered. I'm not naked. But your house has got holes in it. The rain comes in. It keeps out most of the rain. No difficulty. Listen, let me give you some good advice. Just stop worshipping the Ganga for 1 year. Build up your capital. You see, when you get lots of money, you could do a big puja for the Ganga. With capital, you could get 4 or 5 people running with bananas here and there, and you could do a big mass production. In this way, then after 1 year, you'll be a big capitalist, and then you could do so much puja and anything you like, no problem. Just stop this puja for 1 year, and then you'll be really successful. Kolaveta would say, no, there's no way I could stop this puja. Well, just spend 25% on puja, 50% otherwise. If 50% otherwise, if I stop that, where's the guarantee I could start later? If Krishna wants to make me rich, then he will make me rich. There is no guarantee that even if I stop the puja, that I'll be able to become rich. Because if I stop the puja, there is a danger that I may lose or forget Krishna. So I'm not going to reduce in any way my devotional service. And then he went on chanting the Hare Krishna Maha mantra. So they're saying he's a fool. They're saying he's a fool. So this was the character of Kolaveta Shridhar. So at that time, so at that point, Lord Chaitanya, he decided, I'll reveal myself to this devotee so he knows I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, because he's so sincere. So sometimes Chaitanya would manifest in his original mood as Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when he was in that mood, he called and he told everybody, now you go, bring Golaveta Shridhar, and the devotees ran out from Shiva's Angan and ran down to Golaveta Shridhar's house, 2 kilometers away or 1 kilometer away. They told Golaveta Shridhar, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gauranga is calling you now. As soon as he heard Gauranga's name, he fell unconscious. Lord Chaitanya said to bring any other devotees. You also can bring him along. So Lord Chaitanya said to bring other devotees with him. The devotees, they picked up Kolaveta Shridhar and carried him over to Lord Chaitanya. He again became conscious, and he ran with him to call Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. None of Lord Chaitanya's devotees, no one, they didn't know the actual quantity of fortune that Kolaveta Shridhar had. They saw him in a market stall selling bananas. They knew he was a devotee, but they did not know how deeper the connection there was between him and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But when he was brought before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, oh, what a thing! He fell down before Lord Chaitanya and offered prostrated obeisances with full devotion. Then Lord Chaitanya said, Shridhar, so many times I have told you that I was the father of the Ganges, but you doubted my words. Now you see. Then he showed his 6-armed form. He showed his form as Sri Krishna, and Kolaveta Shridhar was overwhelmed, and just crying and paying his obeisances again and again and again. Lord Chaitanya said, look here. Here is your worshipable object. Here is the Mother Ganga. And the Mother Ganga personified came before Kolaveta Shridhar. All your desires, you see, all your desires today I will satisfy. Kolaveta Shridhar, I am going to give you 8-fold perfections of mystic yoga. Today you will get the Astasiddhi. Now take it. Take these mystic yoga powers. You know what the 8 yogic powers are? Anima, Mahima, Lagima, Patipa, Ishta, Basti. You could become smaller than an atom, greater than a mountain, fly anywhere in the universe. Take anything from anywhere and just bring it. Do anything with nature or out of it. Immediately you could create a house or a whole planet even. So he is offering. So immediately you take these mystic powers. Kolaveta Shridhar's reply. He said, no, my lord, I don't have any desire for mystic powers. No, take these mystic powers. Also take liberation, freedom from birth and death. And Kolaveta Shridhar wasn't agreeing to accept this. And then again, there's a conversation between them. He's trying to persuade them. But Kolaveta Shridhar said, my lord, and with deeply sentimental, deeply emotional heart he spoke, let that lord, that young Brahmana boy who used to come and take banana products for me, that young Brahmana who with his restless eyes used to joke with me, that Brahmana who is always chanting the holy names of Krishna, let that Brahmana be the lord of my life. Life after life after life. This is my only desire. Wherever he goes, let me simply provide him with his requirements of vegetables and bananas. Let me simply be his servant life after life. There is nothing more that I want. Lord Chaitanya said, listen, there is a kingdom waiting for you with so many servants, with so many ministers, everything. You are the king of that kingdom. Kolaveta fell at the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya and said, all I want is the service of your lotus feet, nothing else. Then Lord Chaitanya said, today, Kolaveta Shridhar, today I'm giving you not even what Brahma and Indra could get. Today I'm giving you your heart's desire. Today I'm giving you pure devotional service unto me. I'm giving you pure Krishna Prem, pure bhakti. So here is an example of a devotee. He perfected this unmotivated, uninterrupted service to Lord Krishna. And we should try and slowly try and imbibe this mood. How do you imbibe this mood? Is by just being very sincere, trying to follow the scriptures, following what Prabhupada says, and inquiring submissively, and adding Krishna to our life. And then when we add Krishna to our life, Krishna, the more we rely on Krishna, the more He'll help us. And the more we endeavor, He'll help us in our spiritual life as well. And then gradually you'll come to the stage. Is there any questions? Anybody have any questions? No questions, no comments. So we're gonna. So please forgive me for any mistakes I may have made. And so now, please do stay for Gaura Arati. It's going to start in 1 minute. And thank you so much.
That was a good one.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So please stand up. The gate is still open.
So we'll be singing this bhajan which is on the right hand side at the top. If you can follow, that'd be great. Very simple language. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Ko Shobha. Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Ko Shobha. Jana Vitata Vane Jagamanalo Chastradhara Nikate Advai Vasa Chastradhara Bosi Ache Gauracha Ratna Simhasane Bosi Ache Ratna Simhasane Arati Kore na Brahma Adi Devagane Arati Kore na Brahma Adi Devagane Nara Hari Adi Kore Chamara dhulaya nara hari Sanjaya mukunda vasu Goshadigaya Sanjaya mukunda vasu Goshadigaya Shankha baje Ghanta baje baje karatala shankha baje ghanta baje karatala madhura mridanga baje paramarasala madhura Shankha baje, ghanta baje, madhur 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 baje, shankha baje, oh shankha baje, ghanta baje. Madhur 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 baje shankha baje ghanta baje madhur 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 baje madhur 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 baje madhur madhur baje madhur 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 baje madhur madhur Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Nitai Gaura Haribo Haribo Haribol Nitai Gaura Haribol Gaura Haribol 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 Gaura Haribol Bahu Koti Chandra Jini Vadana Ujjvala Bahu Koti Gala Deshvana Mala Kore Jhala Mala Gala Deshvana Mala Kore Jhala Mala Shiva Sukha Narada Prem Gada Gada Shiva Narada Prem Gada Gada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaura Rasampada Bhakti Vinoda Dekhe Gaura Rasampada Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Goshobha Jaya Jaya Jana Vitata Vane Jagamana Lobha Jana Vitata Vane Jaga Janamana Lobha Gaurangera Ratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Lobha Gaurangera Ratika Shobha Jaga Janamana Lobha Gaurangera Ratika Shobha Oh Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Gauranitai. Everyone, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jai Gauranitai. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Deve Ashyatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Everyone, please try to follow. Hari Bol. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, जय प्रभुपाद 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 निताय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल गौरा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु की जय If I can ask everyone to please bow down जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद् श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की नित्य लीला प्रविष्टों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र शत श्रीमद् श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय श्री श्री प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय निराचल क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की जय भक्तिवेदांत मनोर धाम की जय गंगा जमुना मैया की जय भक्ति प्रदानी तुलसी महारानी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान की जय सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान जी की जय गौर निताय की जय श्री जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much for joining us this evening for this Aarti. We'll have a small prayer for everyone's well-being, praying to Lord Narasimhadev, after which we have prasad for everyone outside. The next Aarti is at 9 p.m. So if you do have the time, and you have the desire, then you can stay, and 9 p.m. will be the next Aarti. Yeah? Thank you very much once again for coming. Namaste Narasimhaya Praladaladaine हिरण्यका शिपूर्वक्षः शीलातङ्कारनकालये इतो न सिंह परतो न सिंह जय नरसिंहदेव यतो यतो यामि ततो न सिंह यतो यतो यामि ततो न सिंह बाहिर्न सिंह हृदये 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 न सिंह नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे तव करकमलवरे नाखम् अद्भुतसिंहं दलिता हिरण्यकशिपुः तनुभृङ्गां केशवधृता नारा हरि रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे तबकार बोलो बोलो जय राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान की जय। जय नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव नरसिंह देव जय नरसिंह देव जय प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय प्रभुपाद 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 सर्व विघ्न विनाशक नरसिंह देव भगवान की जय। भक्तराज प्रहलाद महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. Once again, thank you very much for joining us this evening. If you are leaving, just next door we will have prasad, so please do take something before you leave, and have a good weekend. Jai Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.